Hey everybody, welcome to the Falcon one-shot. On the agenda, we have Rogue State here today. Rogue State's kind of an interesting little geopolitical strategic game that's really self-aware and doesn't take itself too serious. You're essentially kind of thrusted into the role of the now glorious leader of a fictional Middle Eastern country by the name of Beijing. I'm going to probably mispronounce a bunch of these fictional areas as well, so apologies for that, although it doesn't really exist, so I guess I'm really not apologizing for much. But anyway, you are now the glorious leader. Essentially, there has been an uprising, and the once tyrant monarchy that was actually controlling the area has been overthrown. Get on out of here. You are now the glorious leader. However, you kind of could play this as much like you would as a tropical game, where you could be like a rightful leader, or you could just be a complete scumbag. Funnel your funds over to your own accounts, wage war, nuke other countries. Basically, the world is your oyster, and you can do whatever you want with it. So instead of talking about it over here, let's actually get into the game and show you a little bit of how this plays out. We'll go into new game over here, and we have to choose our male or female as the glorious leader. I'm going to go with this stunning chap over here, and we'll call him the family, the Falcons. Now, what's pretty cool about this, I will kind of explain this really shortly, because we have Farouk Falcon. This guy is going to be trouble for us, and I'll explain him pretty soon. But let's actually get some of the text out of the way here. As glorious leader of the newly formed People's Republic of Basenji, I was kind of close, you elect to set your office in the royal palace of the late tyrant king. Outside, hundreds of workers dismantled the bloodstained barricades installed by the monarchists last year, another painful reminder of all that was lost in the war. Key revolutionary figures across the spectrum of political ideologies are now selfishly looking to be rewarded with appointments to inner circle cabinet positions. So, now we have all the people that kind of helped in the uprising being like, alrighty man, well I did my part, where is my cut of the pie over here? So we start off over here by just kind of appointing people over to your own cabinet. Now, part of your cabinet has to hold this guy right here, Farouk Falcon, my brother. He is a scumbag. He basically wanted the throne or the glorious leader's position to himself. He will basically do whatever he can at every single point and juncture to make sure that you fail, make sure that the country uprises against you, maybe even get the army to just throw you off of power. Whatever he can do, he will do. The unfortunate thing is that he's actually kind of popular with the people as well, so you can't just be like, well, I don't want you in the cabinet, because that would be a big issue. So Farouk Falcon, which is a really amazing name by the way, has to be part of the cabinet. So right now we have to assign these people, helpers of the revolution, a few tasks for the ministry itself, or the cabinet itself. So right now we have Falif Malouf. Most of these guys will be all positive. I don't think it really matters what you assign to them, but for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to dilly-dally about it too much. So I'm going to give him finance minister by assigning him, and actually, by assigning, Falif Malouf, we will get, it was going to boost our treasury income by 3 million per turn, so that's pretty good. If we give this over to Farouk, by instance, though, as finance minister, Farouk will funnel 5 million turn into his private account. So it doesn't matter what job you give him, expect Farouk to screw you over in that particular job. So it's kind of up to you to figure out which one of these you could kind of deal with, him kind of being a scumbag about and not really affecting your reign too much over here. So let's go forward here. Not only do you have to kind of keep Farouk in check, there's going to be a bunch of parties within the country itself that will have different type of ideologies. So we have the patriots, we have the capitalists down here, we have the fundamentalists, and we have the liberals, which are kind of like the hipster scumbags, you could probably call them. They have like mohawks and really complicated shoes and hairs, do's and whatever. So yeah, you kind of have to mediate everybody's like interest, and obviously mediating a certain group's interest will not actually meet the requirement of another one, so you'll probably start losing favor with certain people, etc., etc. Here's our advisor. Excellency, my name is Tariq Badur. As Parliamentary Chief of Protocol, it is my duty to ensure that your instructions reach our parliamentarians. I trust you have settled into your new office. May I offer some suggestions on your first step to restoring the Basenji? Absolutely, yes, let's begin. I'm going to do this because it kind of sets you up, it gives you a better rundown how the game works over here. Excellent, to start, there are 2 units of currency to concerned with. One is our treasury funds, which is down over here. That's our actual money itself, which is what we can actually funnel into our own accounts, by the way, if you want to be a scummy about it. And the other is the loyalty of the parliament, which is the loyalty to the parliament itself. You want to keep those people happy, otherwise they could overthrow you. So for that one, we need to go to F5 over here. I could just hit F5 or click it. I guess we would just hit F5. This guy's going to walk over there really slowly. I could... I like how he goes to the window for the reconstruction progress. It seems the people are without water and sewage, and it will cost us treasury funds to restore it. When you are ready, click on the Restore Water and Sewage icon. and that's going to be up here. So this will ensure water and sewage is restored into the majority of the country. 15% increase in tax revenue, but it's well worth it because you want our people to have water and working sewage systems. Good. Now we need some assistance from the international community to rebuild some of our infrastructure. Click on the Foreign Aid Workers button, which is going to be down here. This will be allowed aid workers who will arrive from non-governmental organizations to help manage labor shortages, provide humanitarian support, and assist with the reconstruction of critical buildings and infrastructures. Now, they have two options, which I will discuss. I think he will discuss over here. Some infrastructure purchases require you to take an immediate policy decision. You may only choose one of the two policy options presented. Choose between prioritizing medical and engineering relief now. So now you have a choice of which one you want to be your policy for this one in particular. So we have allow foreign aid workers, which is a medical team. Medical workers will tend to your sick and wounded civilian population. However, this is going to cost us a negative 3 million turn for healthcare costs. So that's going to be our treasury right here. Or we could do allow foreign aid workers, which is going to be engineering will help move debris, stabilize structures, and restore roadways. This will speed up the time needed to reconstruct Basenji's essential services and will assist the military in moving resources in and out of the city. So this will give you a plus 10 military approval as well. So I'm going to go with, this is the one I went with the first time around, but, just to get my people, healthy and up and running, especially after this big vicious war that they had, I'm going to go ahead and get some medical team over here. Good. Finally, let's restore power to the population. And this will be rebuild the power infrastructure, ensure electricity is restored in the majority of the country. And again, it's also going to have a tax revenue to it. Very good. You will see that none of the other state infrastructure developments can be unlocked this turn, so close this window and take a look at our policy. So over here, these guys, you won't be able to get into them until turn 3, which right now we're on 1, so it's going to be a while till we get there. Let's cancel out of this here. And now click on the policies button, which is where? Where's that at, my friend? F1. Okay. It's going to walk over there. Let me just skip him over here. You can skip him by hitting F1 again. If he's over here just slowly sauntering himself over to that area. Our economy is stagnant and our workers feel exploited. May I suggest that one of your first edicts you implement a minimum wage? Nothing too extreme, or capitalists will protest. So, obviously capitalists, they don't want to be, have to have a minimum wage to pay as a worker, so they're going to be too happy with that one, but it's going to help out with the other people that we have to kind of look after here. So, our minimum wage is going to be down over here. So, a law that says the legal minimum wage that can be paid to a Basenji citizen for work. So, right now, take a look at down here. You'll see a few shifts over here, but check this out. So, right now, there's no minimum wage, right? They can pay whatever they feel like it because it's there's no law for it. I'm going to set a law for it right now. So, I'm going to move this over here. As you can see, suddenly the capitalists are going to have a -5 drop in approval of me per turn by doing this. However, liberals are going from -3 over to -2. So, it's also going to cost me 5 million per turn if I'm right, or is it... There's a few that actually cost some money, but this one's not affecting me right now. So this is right now the extremely low minimum wage. Employers must pay a symbolic minimum wage to workers, set at the level comparable to India, Kenya, or Venezuela. So if I move this up one more time, we don't lose capital support anymore, but we also get a bit more positive support from liberals. So I think the middle one is probably the ideal one. If I go one above, we'll have positive support from the liberals, but our capitalists will actually go up to -7. So I think the middle one right here is good enough, which is going to be comparable to Iran, Ecuador, and Hungary. Next, let us open the doors to private enterprises and permit free trade zones. In time, this will surely grow your economy. Alrighty, so the free trade zone is going to be right here. When implemented, a geographic area is set aside for goods to be received, manufactured, and exported outside of Basenji without the application of custom duties. Duties. So, there's only one option for this one. It's either on or off. So we're going to obviously set this as on so we have some trading going in and on of the country itself. Excellent. Keep a close eye on how much faction approvals are rising and falling every turn. I already did. If you find you are losing a faction support at a critical time, altering Basenji's public policies are a great way of regaining their confidence. That's enough for now. Close this window and let's take a look at our budget. And there's a few other things right now you can mess around with right now. I don't have to go out here and do this. Like, for instance, if I wanted to set up, like, the temporary foreign worker program, I should say, policy surrounding the issuance of special visas to address temporary labor and skill shortages. So, for instance, over here, if I want to mess around with this, I could just up this up here a little bit. Now, capitalists aren't too happy. Actually, capitalists are quite happy about that. Patriots, though, are not going to be too happy about other people coming from other countries to work over here and setting up the visas, so it's really cool. I really like that whole feature, how you have to kind of keep one group happy, but obviously whatever you do is going to really please everybody. Raising taxes will lower your approval, but it may be necessary in the short term. I suggest raising taxes to 15% if it's just for now. So obviously later down the line you could decrease it if things aren't going too well, but you could increase it right now because we don't really have too much money. We're barely starting off a new country from a terrible monarchy tyrant that was actually controlling it. So we obviously need to get some money in here, even though it's going to cost us some of the people's support. So we're going to increase it up to 15. And we'll get $25 million coming into the country. That was a good choice. We cannot export our goods yet because our industries are still in a state of disrepair after the revolution. Later, forming an export economy and ensuring you get the best possible price when trading with neighbors will be essential. For now, let's close this window and look at something else. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. The people love Farouk, so you need to keep him in your regime, but we should keep a close eye on the loyalty of your legislative assembly. When faction approval drops, when your cabinet members get displeased, when we start to lose wars or run out of funds, that's when our parliamentarians' loyalties shift. Their loyalty is represented with loyalty points and the other currency. If you start seeing loyalty points drop, then something is seriously wrong with Basenji. If loyalty falls too low, Farouk may attempt to push you out of power. For now, let's take a closer look at the parliamentary window. So essentially over here, on occasion, your cabinet members will ask you like a certain thing, like they'll be like, hey, I need you to get the approval of the fundamentalist to 58% in 3 or 4 turns. And if you don't do that, their approval of you will drop. And obviously the more it drops, the more loyalty you start losing, and then it gives Farouk a chance to just come over here and just swipe up and just be the overthrow you. So keep that in mind. I'll leave this to you now, Excellency. This is not everything there is to see and do, but with luck, you will figure the rest of it for yourself. You can always hit the buzzer if you are in need of a more fulsome report of the health of our beloved country. For now, I suggest advancing to the next turn sooner by clicking on the clock. Alrighty, so, we got a phone ringing as well. Greetings, Your Excellency. I am Prime Minister Fatima Al-Farsi, and on behalf of Belistan, I wanted to be the first to welcome the liberation of the People's Republic of Basenji from the tyranny of the Salman family. The Salman regime was a threat to the whole region. That is why we provided your rebellion with the weaponry and training necessary to overthrow the tyrants. Once the transitional government has restored Basenji's infrastructure and industry, let us work towards restoring our trade relationship. Do not hesitate to contact me if there are any way Palestinian can be an assistant of you. Thank you for your call. I am certain our two nations will work together to bring great prosperity to the region. There is much work to be done, but I am grateful for your country's support. So over here, you'll be able to actually make a few choices right off the bat. If you want to be, still cordial with them, you could kind of go for the proper choice here. However, now that you're in control, you want to start going down the complete tyrant route yourself. You can start basically severing all ties to all of your other friends. But right now, we'll keep them on our friendly side, so we'll go with number 2. We agree on this. Failing to recognize these pressures will erode at the integrity of our states. And then we can discuss some trades as well. But we're not really ready for that, so we'll just end our call here. And there you go. So before we wrap it up here for today, I just wanted to actually get a few of these turns going forward so we can see some of the events that we talked, or at least that Tariq talked about, that could be harmful for your, reign and power over here. So let's go ahead and skip forward. So this will be one of them right here. The United Nations Human Rights Council has drafted a highly critical report on the lack of human rights in Basenji. So now we have a few choices here. We can make immediate human rights reforms that cost us $30 million, or we could just criticize the biased report. Again, some of our followers will like this, some of them won't like it. So, I want my people to have some human rights, so I'm going to go ahead and spend money to make this happen. We have 280, it's going to cost us $30 million, but hopefully it should kind of bring our approval rating up with a few of these countries here. So let's go ahead and make that one happen. United Nations are happy about it. Fundamentalists not so great about it. Liberals are thrilled about it too. So there you go. That's one of them right there. Let's go ahead and skip forward again. Excellency, our engineers were clearing debris from a building destroyed in the revolution and discovered a cache of gold stored by the Tyrant King. Estimates vary, but the gold is worth between 100 and 150 million. What should you have us do with the newfound wealth? So we could go ahead and add it to the treasury. This will help us improve the lives of Basenjis. Or share it directly with the people. This wealth was stolen from them after all, so this will probably give us a few good points with the people here. But let's go with this one just to see how it impacts everything else. So patriots are happy about that. Capitalists are happy. This is a really good one if you just want to get an instant boost with your people. It does same. Kharifi approval increases. Nice. Now over here, let's come to this one. This is going to be one of the things I mentioned, how your cabinet members will on occasion ask you for certain quests for you to complete in a certain amount of time, otherwise you lose approval with them. Right now, because of those awesome turns that we just had, our overall popularity is up from 61 to 65, which is pretty good, and our military approval is up from 60 up to 63. And as you can see over here, everybody's quite happy with us right now too, which is actually pretty good. Over here, we have Minister Bizarro requests that you reduce the tax rate to 12% within the next 5 turns. Now, if I don't do this, obviously, he's not going to be too happy about it. But if I do this, and he'll be happy, we'll keep his loyalty, we'll probably even increase it. But obviously, the downside to this is the fact you're going to have less money coming into your treasury every single turn. So it's up to you how you kind of want to go about it. So, with that said and done, I'm going to wrap it up right here for today. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. Leave a thumbs up, leave a like to support. It does mean a lot. If you enjoyed what you see, description below should have a link to the story page itself if you want to check out the game for yourself. There's a lot more to do. A really, really fun game, especially if you're into the whole geopolitical strategic type of games and the whole choices and things of that nature. Relatively fun for sure. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a thumbs up. I will catch you next time.